What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the decidedly debonair Dr. Disaster. And for some damn reason, AAA gaming companies these days can't seem to put together a functional game that actually runs because the developers either don't have the talent or the passion.
What a loser!
This year, it started off with Monster Hunter Wilds, a game which sold 10 million frickin' units in its first month before most people even knew that it was unoptimized crap, which runs horribly on PC. Capcom has tried repeatedly to fix the issues, but it just isn't working, and as a result of their monumental repeated screw-ups, the game's positive review score has dropped to a pathetic 46%.
If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
But there have been a shit ton of games that are performing terribly lately. The Gears of War Reloaded release from a few weeks ago has been crashing like crazy, and the Steam score dropped down to about 55%.
No, God!
Lost Soul aside, has had awful performance issues reportedly, and that is at least partially why that game has underperformed on Steam and is currently sitting at a 57% review score.
No, God, please, no! No!
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater apparently had major performance issues on the PS5 Pro.
No!
And you probably remember that about a month and a half ago or so, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers was criticized for having its own performance problems.
No!
Well, now it looks like Borderlands 4, according to at least one review, is having some performance problems. Specifically, it is apparently stuttering really bad and causing all kinds of issues, and lo and behold, we have also found out that the game doesn't just come with one form of DRM, they have de novo in the game, but they also have symbiote. So, when I hear that the game is having performance issues for some players, my response is simply,
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Alright me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, I've begun uploading some content onto Rumble too, so follow me over there. And don't forget to follow me on X, where I keep a list of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle on that platform is Dr. Disaster 1. But alright, let's take a look at this news that Borderlands 4 is having some performance woes. This post on X comes from the account Pirate Nation, where he says, Borderlands 4 performance optimization is poor with RTX 4080 and frame generation on. It achieves 60 to 70 frames per second. Without frame generation, it drops to 30 frames per second. The game also stutters and freezes per a YouTuber with early access, and then he links a video where they explain the problems that they ran into with the game. Let's watch a bit of it so you can see what the complaints are all about.
Now let's take a turn and talk about performance because it is a bit ropey at the moment. On our RTX 4080 rigs and i7 CPUs, frame rates were solid enough, around 60 to 70 in cluttered combat moments and boss fights with frame gen on. Without it, it dips down to 30 to 40, but honestly it's completely playable, and since with frame gen you have over 60 pretty much all of the time, it feels great. The bigger issue though is stuttering. Moving through areas quickly often causes hitches and brief freezes, which really breaks up the flow of things. Supposedly this is going to be fixed in a day one patch, and to be fair, the stability itself is excellent. Neither of us have had a single crash so far, but still the stuttering is something that really needs addressing. Another co-op issue we ran into is that if you're not the party leader, sometimes your bullets just don't connect to enemies. In the middle of a fight, that can be incredibly frustrating, so hopefully it's something that Gearbox is aware of and working on.
So apparently, we are once again counting on a patch to swoop in and save the day. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I have been burned too hard by developers these days who clearly don't know what the hell they're doing. I have been burned too many times for me to trust that they will magically have the fix for a game that isn't shipping as fully functional. Too many developers these days are either talentless hacks who just don't have a clue how to put together a working game, or they just don't have the passion that game developers used to have. My guess is that it's a combination of the two, and my guess is that this phenomenon is related to this article here, where it tells us that half developers that have lost their jobs in the gaming industry over the past few years have been based in California. And of course, you probably remember that there have been a shitload of game developer jobs that have been lost over these past few years. Thousands upon thousands of them. And of course, Californian developers behave less like developers, as we've seen over the years, and more like activists, trying to push their social justice crap into the games. So it appears that these sorts of developers are gradually getting pushed out. So maybe in the future we won't run into this sort of problem with optimization as much as we do now. Maybe performance issues will pick up in the coming years. But in the meantime, Borderlands 4 certainly sounds like it has some rough parts to it, though it is worth noting that if you look at this here, this is the pinned comment from that video review that we watched a minute ago, and here they openly admit that they are running a rig that is below recommended specs, though the specs that they mention do seem pretty solid, so make of that what you will. A lot of folks have been trying to defend Borderlands 4 and these accusations of poor performance issues and stuttering and all that was mentioned in this video by citing this admission, but with those specs only hitting about 60 to 70 frames per second with frame gen is sad as hell, and being okay with that sort of performance is not something I am personally prepared to do. Now, as you can see from this article here from a few months ago, players were concerned about the performance of the game the moment that we learned that Borderlands 4 would have Denuvo and Symbiont as digital rights management software in the game. And then when you combine that with the fact that Borderlands 4 was made using Unreal Engine 5, which has run into tons of optimization problems in the past, well, you can understand why people worried about how this game would run, and it looks like there is at least a concern that these worries were spot on. It's bad enough that Randy Pitchford and crew at Gearbox are asking $70 for their game, and that there has been all that controversy with the company taking people's data with their new end-user license agreements, but now asking people to trust that a day one patch is going to fix their game when so many of the contemporaries these days can't seem to get it right. Well, suffice to say, I do not recommend going out and blindly buying this game on day one. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your contempt for the lack of craftsmanship that we see in the gaming industry these days into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.